Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Aphrodite, aka Madam Suave. If you are new here, I would like to welcome you to the community. Be sure to check the description box below and like, comment, share, and subscribe if you feel called to. Remember that energy is timeless and fluid. This could be past, present, or future energy. Flip roles if they need to be reversed, and only take a resonance, leaving the rest for what it's meant for. So I'm gonna be honest, I ain't gonna hold y'all today, okay? The title of today's message is, what is it that is troubling you? Now, the first thing out of the gate, this is a very random separate message, but someone may be feeling really sick and you may be picking up on this intuitively, okay? But aside from that, the actual general message of today is that, typically sometimes randomly, every now and again, I do have people asking me directly in my dreams who come to me directly asking for advice, okay? So that message is going to be kind of geared toward that, or that is the inspiration behind this message, okay? So for a lot of you, because one thing I'm picking up on is maybe you are someone who is new to intuitive messages, especially collective intuitive messages, okay? So I do have some advice for you guys, and I am just pretty much going to read what I have, and then I will add my little tidbits where I feel that they are necessary. But okay, so some advice for you who are maybe new to intuitive messages, okay, is do not force it to fit. So if you have to question it or feel nothing, then it is probably not for you or your current situation, okay? If you are feeling anxiety or fear, you are fighting against something that you know, and it's telling you something which is up to you to kind of know and figure out, okay? But also, if you are someone who you feel triggered when you are hearing something or when you are listening, okay? If you are feeling triggered, then this is present day and energy, okay? So this is basically being called to your attention or focus when I say present energy, all right? When something resonates, it should feel natural and in alignment with what you already know. So sometimes things sound good or like a nice reality and you want it to be true, but that doesn't mean that it is true, but could be a part of a not current reality, okay? So if you are someone who these messages are very confusing for you, or they kind of, you don't necessarily know how to navigate, messages like this, you can book a one-on-one with me to eliminate any confusion, okay? Now, I was going to wait till later to bring it up, but since it kind of already came up, I'm just going to kind of go ahead and segue into it, okay? Because oftentimes you'll hear me say past, present, future, okay? So one thing about it is when you are watching videos of this sort, the main thing that you want to be focused on is present, okay? So it doesn't matter if something is past or future. As long as you are present, then you know what is past and you know what is future, okay? If you do not know your present day reality, there is a problem there, okay? Also, if you are a chronic worrier, okay? If you are a chronic worrier, someone who worries constantly, worries often, these may not be the messages for you. The reason why I say that is because you need to find peace before you go looking for answers. Because if you are someone who you are in a state of panic and a state of worry constantly, and then you are going to search for answers, the only things that you are going to find are problems, because that is where your focus is. That is what you are searching for. So if you go looking for problems, you're going to find problems, okay? So yes, past, present, future, right? Because if you know your present day reality, okay, it's important that you are focused on present day, because sometimes you have past energy that could still be lingering, okay? So this is emotionally, energetically, okay? I do not just necessarily mean physically, but if it is and that resonates for you, then like I said, take it how it resonates, okay? So you know your present because you are living in the present, okay? You also know your past because you have been in the past, okay? So sometimes these things still come up, and like I said, sometimes it can come up energetically because it is being called to your focus or your attention in the present day, okay? It is something that you need to focus on before moving forward, all right? So like I said, and if something feels like, this hasn't happened or this isn't happening yet, then that also means that it can be future energy. But like I said, it's up for you to know your own reality, okay? It's up for you to know your own reality. And then what else was I gonna say? This, I was kind of going to leave it because, sometimes, ooh, yeah, like sometimes, okay, let's say something is, and I wasn't going to mention this because I don't want it to add more confusion, but let's say, something is feeling very polar opposite to what is actually your reality, or very like polar opposite to you, etc., okay? Or it just like, it does not, let me put it like this. Okay, if you are someone who you are naturally, you're already calm, okay, you're feeling comfortable in your situation, you're not questioning anything, you're not questioning any doubts, then that tells you that there is some energy that may be coming from another place, okay, that may not be yours, okay? So say you were fine and then you watch something and now all of a sudden you're panicking, okay? All of a sudden you're panicking, okay, it's probably not your energy. So like I said, it's up to you to kind of know, but that's not really the thing that I was trying to get at here. The thing that I was trying to get at is like, maybe I'll just leave it, okay? Maybe I'll just leave it. Okay, let me put it like this. If you are not in alignment with certain energy, then do not take it, okay? Because like I said, sometimes things sound nice and, it sounds like, something good, something that you could be desiring, but doesn't mean that it is true, okay? So that's why I'm never someone who says, claim it if you feel like, or this is your future, claim it. No, baby, no, okay? We stay grounded in reality, and I'm not going to give people false hope, and I'm not going to, like, encourage people to be delusional. All right, that is pretty much where I'm going to leave that. If I may need to word it better afterwards, so I may do that later. But okay, I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm like talking so fast now. Like earlier, I honestly didn't really want to do the video, but okay, to the general message of today though. Okay, so a change has already occurred, and now it is about letting go of the emotion that came with the experience. So like I said, I'm telling you, this may be a past experience. Okay, so this may be uncomfortable because of having to readjust, or maybe you're letting go of something, like maybe you're letting go of something this is actually new and fresh. Okay, so this may be uncomfortable because of having to readjust. This may be something that you haven't seen yet, something that you cannot envision, or something you are unprepared for. Okay, so it's feeling like unfamiliar territory to you. All right, so in the dream, okay, specifically in the dream, someone asked me for relationship advice. So this is going to be geared towards relationships. Okay, so you have a vision or have been given a vision, but you are unsure if you are waiting around for no reason. So you may be expecting a change, or maybe they do not fit that ideal vision, but maybe the person that you are accustomed to. Okay, so you may be feeling closed off or reserved to new possibilities or ideas. This could be a foreign feeling, or you're just tired. Okay, you may just be, you're tired. You're tired, okay? And it's fine to be tired. Because one of the things that I was getting is there is a person who is interested in you, but you are completely unaware of them. This could possibly be unrequited love, though. So, because as I was channeling this right here, I was kind of starting to get like a little agitated feeling. So when I say this, like, you may already know who this person is. Okay, you may also know someone who, may be interested in you, but you may not feel the same things towards them. And you may have already expressed this to them. You expressed your disinterest, and it's kind of like they are a fly that will not go away. Okay, and so they feel that you're being closed off, but you just don't want them. Okay, your heart just doesn't open for them. Okay, it's not that your heart doesn't open, it just doesn't open for them, and that thing barely beats. Okay, it barely beats. Okay, now on the other hand, okay, because like I said, you need to know if you have someone who is like they're thinking, oh, you're being closed off. No, bitch, I don't want you. Okay, so anyways, on the other hand, you may be psychically picking up on a connection that is going to come together as you expand and focus on yourself. So as you are following your path, you may cross paths with this person. Okay, so go to where you are being drawn, and after the things that you are being drawn to, do not self-sabotage, but also do not force anything, and allow everything to fall into place on its own. Okay, but also recognize when your fear is talking to you. Maybe you feel like something sounds too good to be true because of how you feel about your own self-worth. Okay, so maybe you are having problems, like maybe something sounds too good to be true. Maybe it was something that you couldn't envision, and maybe you are feeling like, maybe not. Okay, like maybe you're starting to like second guess something. So it's knowing the difference between fear and faith, where that fear is coming from, but also when your faith is rooted in fear. Okay, so this may be fear of the unknown, fear of letting go, or also fear of letdown. So as much as we say holding on for too long is harmful, so is letting go prematurely. But these are questions you need to answer within the self to know what you need to do. Okay. Right. So always, prioritize your own intuition as well, okay? So gain understanding of your emotions, talk if you need to, and make a decision based on clarity, not confusion. But also know that sometimes the confusion of another is all the clarity that you need. Just make sure you know the self first, so you know where the energy is coming from, right? Because when you know your own emotions, when you know your own energy, your own emotions, then you know when something is not coming from you. You know that you are not projecting. Okay, something that I wanted to say. Oh yes, that's one thing I wanted to say about, chronic worriers, right? Because if you're a chronic worrier and you're constantly looking for problems, right, you're kind of going to be blocked from receiving anything by doing so, okay? Because in that moment, you're kind of, the only thing that you are feeling is negativity. So you're only going to be able to receive negativity, and you are kind of also going to, I'm gonna get there. Actually, y'all will see. Okay, I'll get there. Okay. Yeah. So, but also know that sometimes the confusion of another is all the clarity that you need. Just make sure you know the self first, so you know where the energy is coming from. Because if it's you, you may ruin something good and take that same energy with you. Yes, this is what I was gonna say, right? Because sometimes. And this is part of, being projector energy, not being someone who is self-aware. You don't understand when the energy is actually you and not the other person, okay? So let me go back. Okay, so because if it's you, you may ruin something good and take that same energy with you. But if it's them, then you can move on freely and open yourself to situations and spaces of clarity because you are clear within yourself. So energy is constantly needing to be cleared anytime you are going from one thing to the other. This includes hopping from one relationship to another. Someone fresh out is not going to be an ideal situation because that is is exactly what you're going to have, okay? A situation or remnants of the past and fears mixing into your relationships, okay? And you do not want that. And this is what I talk about: past, present, future, okay? So sometimes these are just things that are kind of lingering, whether it is emotionally, energetically, or physically, okay? So maybe at this time you are feeling doubt, or outside factors are causing doubt. The more intense something grows, or you are being pushed to move forward and you are stopping yourself. Sometimes things are only meant to be temporary, to give you a taste of possibilities, and there are a lot of people who want to take you seriously. And when the want is there, okay, it makes a huge difference, because when they want to, they will do, but you also have to take yourself seriously too. What you accept is what you allow. So right now, for some of you, you are mating with your own soul, okay? You are mating with your own soul, and that is kind of the focus here, all right? So be brave and make yourself happy. Then the one who comes along will only add to you and your happiness, not simply filling a void where there is a lack of, because you wouldn't want to be a void filler either. It's unfair to you and the other person. So maybe you've already gotten the answers to your questions, and it's time to trust those answers. Asking the same question isn't going to change the answer. And when you get tired of asking the question, that's how you know you've already gotten your answer. So the door goes both ways. You don't have to wait to close it. Free yourself, okay? But when I say, you don't have to wait to close it and free yourself, that also means do not skip any of the other steps, okay? Make sure that you have done all the other steps, you have completed the other steps, to kind of figure out what is your energy and what is not there, so that you can make the best decision based on clarity and not confusion, okay? With that being said, that is a wrap, all right? If you got anything from this message, if it was helpful to you, like, comment, share, and subscribe if you feel called to. And until next time, thanks for coming. Bye.